What happens when a young female officer encounters an ambush by a crazed gunman armed with an AK-47? There's a drunk man in a white van parked out front. A woman just ran in here crying. The man sounded completely wasted. We've confirmed his name is Dylan Wallace, and the location is the Twin Ports Medical Services Center. Shortly after, Officer Catherine Snip and Officer Angel Claude from the Superior Police Department rushed to the scene to track down Dylan. However, the officers had no idea what kind of nightmare was waiting for them. In reality, although Dylan had taken off after Caitlin escaped, he wasn't running away at all. This guy went straight home, geared up in a level 3 ballistic vest, and grabbed an arsenal of 7 firearms, including an AK-47. With over 2,000 rounds of ammo loaded into a white van, he drove off to hunt down his girlfriend, Caitlin. Seriously, what kind of grudge could a couple possibly have? This level of gear is enough to stage a coup in Africa. If I ever got into a fight like this at home, the most I'd get is a physical beatdown from my wife and a month of chores. At 2:45 in the morning, a deputy spotted Dylan's vehicle and immediately flipped on his lights. Hey everyone, I'm DePeng. Today's case takes place in Superior, Wisconsin. He ordered Dylan to pull over, and surprisingly, Dylan complied, stopping at an intersection. But he was actually preparing a deadly gift for the officers. As soon as Dylan stepped out, he opened fire on the deputies with his automatic rifle. Completely caught off guard, the deputies were hit. They were struck multiple times and went down, oh no. You can actually see the bullet impact the officer's radio, sparking from the electrical damage. Once Dylan emptied his first magazine, he retreated to cover. The wounded officer, powered by pure adrenaline, scrambled away, fighting through the agonizing pain to return fire. "I need an ambulance! Get me an ambulance!" After putting some distance between them, the officer radioed dispatch for help. But the radio was already destroyed. No one was getting his distress call. And it got even more terrible. Dylan was lying in wait under his van, planning to pick off any backup that showed up. It was around 2:30 in the morning on December 7th, 2025. Dylan Wallace and his girlfriend, Caitlin Sutherland, had just finished up at a company Christmas party, but they weren't ready to call it a night, so they decided to find another bar for a few more drinks. Meanwhile, Officer Ben Olson, who was taking a statement from Dylan's girlfriend at the nursing home, heard the gunfire. He didn't hesitate for a second and raced toward the scene. How many shooters? We need backup. We have an active shooter. Requesting air support. Location is Zone 37. Back on the other side, just as Snip was hitting her breaking point, Officer Claude arrived at the scene. He's got a rifle. Turn on your lights. Turn on your lights. He has a rifle. The two officers jumped out, took cover behind their vehicle, and scanned the area. Realizing backup had arrived, Dylan began firing precision shots at the two officers. Where is he? Officer Snip had been hit multiple times and was bleeding out. She didn't even know where all the bullets were.
How many? We might have shots fired.
Just then, Dylan unleashed another wave of suppressive fire. I can't get out. My radio is busted.
Get your lights on. Get your lights on.
That's when the two got into a heated argument about which bar to go to. Dylan noticed the officers were staying behind cover, so he decided to pull back toward the two.
Get back!
Suspect is fleeing toward the middle school. I have to check it out. He's driving a white van heading for the school. You need to get out of here. Seeing Dylan retreating, Claude immediately grabbed the critically wounded Snip. They rushed toward the hospital. You need to get me to the hospital.
Yeah, I just saw a long gun.
He shot right through my car! My God, this is a nightmare. These bullets went straight through my door. Are you okay?
Get on, get on.
好歹发
I'm
现警员
okay. He got me. I really can't move anymore. If you hit me,
Suspect fleeing.
moving
Going
into
towards middle school.
crawling my
I
way
gotta
to
check
the
on.
hospital now.
He's going towards the middle school. White van.
You need to get out.
Calling it in. Get more backup, then notify the paramedics nearby. Tell Dylan's girlfriend to hide immediately. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Get to the hospital. He
Don't
shot
let
through my
anyone
car.
into this building unless they're police. Keep her inside. Within the next 5 minutes, multiple officers arrived at the high school. Dylan accused his girlfriend of cheating, she accused him of stepping out, and the whole thing exploded right there in the car. Since everyone already knew the suspect was armed with
Call the lock in the hospital.
Every
这边
officer
223
who
警员
arrived on the scene pulled their own rifles to secure the perimeter. The officers on site remained on high alert. They were searching anxiously for any sign of the suspect. The situation on the ground was critical. At this point, nobody knew exactly where Dylan was. Every officer was in grave danger, at risk of being ambushed at any second. Meanwhile, Dylan drove his vehicle straight into the Superior High School building. After smashing through the front doors, Dylan started searching the classrooms for a place to hide. Security footage from inside the school showed Dylan entering fully armed. Thankfully, it was the middle of the night, so there were no teachers or students. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unthinkable. He drove right into the school. Dylan had breached the interior. The officers were locked in a tense standoff. We need to secure this school right now. Everyone, please stay away
搜
from
索
the
掩
front.
蔽的地点。从
Fueled
校
by the alcohol. After finding one classroom door locked, Dylan shot the lock off and hid inside, waiting to ambush the officers through the window. For the next hour, both sides remained in a standoff on the school grounds. It was -6 degrees Celsius.
We need a perimeter around the school right now.
The freezing temperature made the standoff even more grueling. The officers outside were shivering, having to constantly rotate shifts just to stay warm. The officers were discussing their next move. He needs to go on break so I can warm up. How much longer does he have to stay in there? Just a few more minutes, then you can rotate out and get warm. You should go get some rest, too. Do you need to warm up? Let's go grab a breather. It was absolutely freezing. 3 hours into the incident, police scanned all the school's surveillance cameras and pinpointed Dylan's exact location. Shortly after, the Douglas County Sheriff's SWAT team and the Superior Police Department's negotiation team moved in to approach Dylan's position and begin negotiations. Around the 4-hour mark,
You good? If you need to warm up, you can. I'm just gonna warm up real quick.
Dylan, having sobered up, finally dropped his weapon and chose to surrender. Dylan slammed on the gas and smashed their car right into a snowbank near Superior Middle School. SWAT teams moved in to make the arrest. Officers discovered a gunshot wound passing straight through Dylan's abdomen. After receiving field treatment, he was rushed to the hospital for emergency care. Later, investigators found 4 boxes of ammunition at the scene and inside Dylan's van. The tactical vest he was wearing was loaded with multiple full rifle magazines, totaling nearly 2,000 rounds of ammunition. During the exchange, a total of about 64 shots were fired. Dylan fired 36, and 3 officers fired a total of 18, which resulted in the bullet passing through Dylan's abdomen. But because he was so numb from the alcohol, Dylan didn't even realize he'd been hit until he was arrested. Since no internal organs were damaged, Dylan was discharged from the hospital that same day after receiving minor treatment. Officer Snape, however, was struck by 3 bullets. One went through his right forearm, and the other 2 were stopped by his vest and radio. After surgery that day, he was discharged and joined the other officers on administrative leave for the major incident. Once the situation had stabilized, the police began interrogating Dylan. His reckless actions had nearly cost an officer their life, and the sheer pettiness of his motive left the detectives speechless. With the car wrecked, Dylan completely lost his cool and started choking Caitlin. She fought with everything she had to break free and ran to a nearby nursing center to call for help. He said, "They pissed me off. They pissed me off, so I went home, got my gun, and ruined my whole life. Dylan is now facing charges for attempted first-degree murder, domestic violence involving strangulation or suffocation, and criminal property, along with multiple other charges, including firing a weapon in a school zone. His bail is set at $2 million. Given that Dylan had been arrested multiple times since 2017 for disturbing the peace, resisting arrest, illegal possession of a firearm, and drunk driving, the judge deemed him a high-risk individual. He will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Dylan could face a minimum of 30 years and a maximum of 75 years in prison. In February of 2026, the district attorney announced that all shots fired by the officers in this case were lawful and compliant with protocol. Superior Police Chief Paul thanked all the officers involved in the case, especially Officer Snape. Even while being ambushed and wounded, he chose to return fire. In that extreme crisis, he demonstrated incredible composure and courage. His body cam footage has now become a training case for the department. The staff members who took the call reported. Officer Snape will also be nominated for the 2025 Officer of the Year Award. All right, that's all for today's video. And finally, I'd really appreciate it if you could show some support for Depang. It would mean the world to me. See you all in the next one.